Introducing. Once again, we back. We got Too Cold in the mix. We got Sho-Nuff in the mix. We got Uncle Scruff weighing in at 155, 60 pounds. You know, we having a good day. We're going to set it off. We're going to get into this next video. My man Too Cold's going to introduce it. This is something that's been coming up a lot lately. But you hit it off. Tell us what's going on, man.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was going on out here in the world. It's something's, I don't know what's in the water, what people are eating.
Too much processed chicken?
I'm not sure, but there's a young lady. She's locked herself in the room, and the dad is like, "Yo, open the door." Like, I don't do the closed door thing. What's going on? And she's basically saying, "Hey, mom did something."
All right, let's set it off. Let's see what's going on.
Open the door. Open the door. Listen, I don't do this behind the door thing. If you do not open this door, I will come in myself.
What she did? All you keep trying to do is come in here and bother me. No.
I spoke with your mother. She told me what happened.
No. Because if she told you, you would not be trying to get me. You would be talking to her.
What did she do? What did she do that was so bad that you won't open the door and just talk to me?
She slept with my boyfriend.
Wow. She didn't tell me that part.
The fuck?
Wow. She didn't tell me that part.
Oh boy. Well,
as always, I have a situation that I'm familiar with, close to, that was around me, that is very relatable to this. I know of a young lady. I'm going to keep the names anonymous, but I know of a young lady.
It's just us. You can tell us.
No, because the whole point of us doing this is so that the world sees it. So no, I'm gonna keep it.
I know we keep it between just us fellas.
Yeah, okay. Come here, get closer. I'll tell you in your ear. No, but there's a young lady that I am close to, and she told me directly that her mother messed around with her previous boyfriend, and of course these are the type of things that are like no-nos, you know what I mean? There are certain people that you just don't deal with when it comes to relationships and sleeping around with people. You know what I mean? It's like people that your children have dealt with. That should be like the absolute last thing that anybody should even be thinking of. You know what I'm saying? But it was very hurtful to this young lady because, when I looked at the situation, I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, whoa. And it just kind of blew me. But my whole thing was I had to keep the poker face because I had to kind of play it off as if that wasn't shocking news to me, which in a sense it wasn't, because if the individual in question, if you knew her, anything that she has done in the past is like, wow, like, oh, okay. So it just kind of got real numb to it, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Because of the things that, you know what I'm saying, that I've seen and witnessed this individual doing. So it was just kind of, when you hear it, it was like, man, that's really messed up because that's your daughter. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care if she messed with this dude 20 years ago. It's like, come on, man, like certain things you just don't do. And that is uncool. And for the daughter, this daughter, this young lady in the video, for her, you hear the hurt in her voice, and she almost doesn't even want to tell her father.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy because it's to have to hear that from your daughter.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. I don't know. What's up, Rob? I don't know.
A whole family. When I say a whole family, that's not just the mother, not just the daughter, but now the father hears that. So even if they got sisters and brothers, that's splitting it right there. That is crazy. Family members are off limits. Now the thing is adults, they always want to be friends with their kids. They always want to be friends, and I think
Yeah.
that's what it is. It then turns into more because when you start being friends with your kid, then you start being friends with their friends, and you're a little too old for that. What they are is that is your kid, and that is your kid's friends, not yours. The same thing I tell my kids: my friends are my friends; they're not your friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know them, but they're not your friends. They're my adult friends. You have kid friends. You know,
Right.
you gotta keep that boundary because that's a little honestly, it's kind of
Because
quite disgusting.
it's too easy to smudge the lines right
It's
there.
quite
Because
disgusting. It's quite disgusting.
you know
I'm
that's
still
crazy.
wondering where these moms were when I was dating.
Probably
Because
Stacy's mom.
yeah, because honestly, the moms that I was around, you could see the difference between their chin and their neck, like it was all one thing or just whatever. Like I wasn't interested. Where's these moms?
Nothing smashable.
Well,
I was
I'm
like, I'm
telling you,
good. Your mom's very nice.
not
Nice
like
to
that
meet you,
mom across
ma'am.
the street
Like,
in Fridays.
Miss Parker,
uh,
Miss
What's her
Parker.
name?
Miss
Mm-mm.
Parker,
Miss Parker. Yeah,
I think it was Miss Parker.
I think it was. What
It
was
was
it?
none of that.
Yeah,
It
none
was
of that.
none of
Yeah, I'm
that. So
telling you.
that's the first thing.
Yo, I'm pardon. I don't mean to cut you off, but another true story.
Oh man.
When you said this Miss Parker thing, it made me think. So now, when I lived in Schenectady, and I lived right on the main strip, right on State Street, and I remember there was next door. There was this young lady that lived next door that she had a son that was probably like 13, 12 or 13 at the time. And I remember I didn't know it at first, but her mother lived right across the street from us.
Mm-hmm.
Now her mother was, yeah, she was switched on, bro.
Lord.
Listen, bro, she had a nice body, she had the short haircut, all that. We dubbed her Miss Parker because every time she came outside, my man Money Mel, he used to be like, "Hey, Miss Parker." We used to just crack up laughing. So she would hear us and she would look over and she'd sit there and she'd smile, she'd wave at us, and we was all like, "Yo, like if only we had the opportunity." Like, so as fate would have it, the young lady that lived next door, just I don't know, one day she just started talking to me or whatever, whatever. So me and her ended up like messing around for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when we saw one day, we were just kind of hanging out. And again, this is my next door neighbor that I was messing with, but she was real cool though. And so one day we were standing outside or whatever, and Miss Parker was like coming across the street, and we was like, "Oh snap, here come Miss Parker." And she looked at me, and she was like, "That's my mom." And we was all like, "Oh
Whoa.
snap!" Like, "Oh, Miss Parker's your mother." So we was like, "Oh snap!" So it was all respect and love. It was still, you know what I'm saying. But
Uh-huh.
she was like, "Yeah, she's always, she always smiling people's faces coming out, whatever, whatever." We just kept it like that. But one night, I'll never forget it. Miss Parker was drunk.
Oh boy.
She was real sauced,
Oh boy.
and I'll never forget it. She went to get in her car because she was going to go to the store to go and get more alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And now, being an individual that I am, I'm looking at it, trying to do something right. 'Cause I'm like, all right, she's gonna try to get in her car, and her daughter, the chick I was dealing with, was trying to stop her, but she was like, So I was like, I'll bring her to the store. She was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I was like, all right. So I was like, and we still called her Miss Park. I said, Miss Park, come on, we'll bring her to the store. She was like, okay, okay. So she jumped in, and I drove her car to the store, and she went, got whatever she needed, boom, boom, boom. And on the ride back, she propositioned me.
Oh.
She straight up said, when are we gonna fuck? And I was like, how do you handle that?
You said what
I was
day and
like,
when?
Because
well,
when you're a young
nah,
What time?
guy,
but
you
What
make a lot of
time?
wrong decisions.
I couldn't do that, and not for nothing, because like I said, homegirl that I was dealing with, she was super super cool, and I was like, yeah, I can never hurt her like that, never do that. Of course, I bragged to my boys like, yeah, Miss Parker was ready to give me the pussy, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't. But I didn't. I was like, nah. I laughed it off, and I let her brought her back to the house. She went upstairs with her stuff, and I came back across the street. And not, and it was a couple of days later. I pulled homegirl aside. I was like, listen, because that shit was sitting on my chest. Like, bro, I was like, I got to talk to you. And I did tell her what her mother said, and she just kind of shook her head and was like, it wasn't even surprising to her. She was like, yeah, she's always doing shit like that. I was like,
Wow.
really?
That's
For
messed
real?
up for the daughter to know that that's the kind of stuff she does, though. That's kind of,
That's the type of shit she does.
yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
but again, I wouldn't have taken. I couldn't take it there. I was like, nah, bro, I could not take it. But yes, these are true stories, bro.
Yeah,
These are true stories.
there are a lot of parents that are out there like that, and I would assume I'm gonna say this, and I can't even really back this up, but this is my assumption. This is my and I could be wrong, because usually things don't get so publicized around men except the part that's really not the best part. But I'm willing to bet that more men probably probably proposition their daughter's friends than women proposition their son's friends. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I mean, I always usually both sides of it, because
Mm.
people are usually the same. People are the same. When I say they're the same,
Yeah,
they are the exact same. When they say
yeah.
that guys cheat more than men, no, guys just get caught more than, or guys cheat more than women, guys
That's
just
all
get
that
caught more
is.
than women. They just get
That's
caught
all
more
that
than
is.
women. That's all it is.
Women prepare themselves. Women set things up in such a they just have such a way of doing things, like they got it set up like so far in advance that you don't even see it coming. And by the time you catch up with step one, she's already at step five, and she done did the deed and the whole nine or whatever, and probably even cut off the relationship by then. So by the time you find out, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I ain't even messing with him no more. So it's like, what's
She already cleaned up the evidence. The evidence is gone already. The
So
trail is gone.
I'm gonna
men
tell
don't
you,
even men don't even
I'm
make it to
willing
the
to
point
bet
where they
that
smash.
I'm willing to bet more guys proposition their daughters' friends than women proposition their sons' friends. But nowadays you can't tell. You know why? Because everybody's propositioning other sex and the same sex. So you got to watch everybody
Yeah.
around everybody now. Just
Well,
because
people
just
also
because you're a dad don't
people
mean you ain't
also
have
are
great
more
sex.
Oh,
aware.
facts.
People are more aware. Like people are now like, hey, you know, there's a lot of over the past 5 years, women are coming and speaking more about all these people, like situations they've been in, and
Back then, yeah,
are not
Yeah.
not like being quiet anymore. So for
yeah,
men these days, you better watch. I think, of course, there are people still screwing up, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not like you can get away with it like you used to when you're out. You can't really proposition teenage girls will get you definitely in trouble. The likelihood is that someone may speak up. But as far
Yeah.
as this situation here, this is probably, I'm thinking, because I'm thinking about like, all right, how could a mom do that? Well, I think these days we have younger moms, right? We
Yeah,
have
that
younger
is true too, I believe.
moms of teenage girls, and if you're only like 40, mid 30s or whatever, because a lot of them, maybe like in their 40s. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you didn't like you still can look pretty damn good. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think that because of that, I think hey, I still got it.
and
You
that's
look
what they want
right.
to know, that they still got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They need to
yeah. I
know
mean,
that.
that is the thing, and that's where the
So
competition
you're just a notch on the belt
between,
at that point.
yeah, and that's where the competition between the kid and the parent comes in, because
actually,
they want to
absolutely.
make sure that they still got it. Because look at freaking Tia Mowry, man, the girl is cute, but after she left her husband and she graduated from marriage, like she said, she's out there showing off everything, like, it's like, and you guy, she's, oh, guys don't check for me no more. You're right, because we're not that interested. Like, it's it's just you gotta, don't run out there and try to whatever. Just be yourself. Just be yourself.
Yeah, because when they put
Because rolling
themselves
with
out there
you,
like that,
it ain't
that's
working like that.
ugly. It ain't. That's real unattractive for me. You know what I mean? I like a little bit of mystery when it comes to, you know, the opposite sex. I like mystery, and I like a little bit of a challenge. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You just giving it up like that. It's like, all right, it wasn't even hard to do. You know what I'm saying? Give me a little bit of challenge. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, it's
That's how I
definitely, to
feel.
me, family members, if your family member was with them, it should be off limits. As far as I'm
All day.
concerned, I don't even care if it's your mother, your daughter, your father, your son, your whatever. It's off limits. If they dated them, if they mess with them, off limits. Leave it alone. That's the way you keep
All
your
day.
family together. That's the way you keep your ties together. That's the way you don't step on nobody's toes or nothing like that. Just leave it alone. You don't want to have your parent. You don't want to separate your family like that. I mean, because what are you gonna do? We got 1 minute. So wrap this up. What do you think? Because that's my take on it. Family, leave it alone.
100% agree. Leave it alone. It's off limits. You have to draw the line somewhere, and that right there was crossing. That was crossing the double line. So, absolute no no. Mama wrong for that.
Definitely.
Yeah, my mama's wrong for sure. You just question like her upbringing a little bit that to think that was okay, but this is pretty cut and dry, man. Like if it's your daughter, and so I mean, if you actually loved her, I think that would trump that kind of move. But you see it here. I mean, whether you believe this video or not, that it does happen. We got our stories that it happened. It does exist. It's just amazing to me that even anybody would even think about doing that to their child.
All right. And that is definitely it for this episode. But get it off your chest. Leave a question, a comment, or concern. Have you ever encountered anything like this? Have you ever been in a situation like this? Have you been propositioned, and what did you do? How do you think that as a parent, this is, and I know what the answer is already, but do you think this is behavior becoming of a parent? Let's put it like that.
Or is this like a new pattern? Is this the new wave?